In this episode I'm about to review Twister Airborne, which is basically a version of the levitating magnetic airborne glass. Yeah, I know in that title I've kind of given away something, but I'm sure I'm going to give away even more when I try and perform it. There goes nothing. If I pour some liquid, and I can make it float, and I'm too long. Whoop. There we go, and I'll leave that there. Now, I'm not so sure how that appeared for you. Basically, it's a good trick. If you enjoy the airborne type effect, this is the best on the market. I will say I have been through many versions of this trick using special kind of sprouts and things that stuck out the top of bottles, and I've given up on all of them. This one, as soon as I saw it was released, bought it straight away. I thought this was the answer to all my problems, and it is, to a degree. One, I have had the glass fall on me in the middle of a performance. Whether the gimmick involved had lost its strength, I don't know, but I've learned not to let the glass fill up to the top. I only fill it up 3/4 before I'm doing the catch again. But it does work to a good degree. Now, the first one I purchased was a Coca-Cola one because I believed that a black liquid would look better in the glass, which is true, it would. And if you're only going to perform this once or twice a year and you're not that bothered about the cleanup and reset, then the Coca-Cola one's the one to go. But I went for the Sprite version. I'm going to be careful not to show the logo, I think. But because the Sprite version was based on a suggestion from somebody else, is a clear liquid already. So it means that when I'm filling up the can at the gig, because you got to fill it up at the gig, you can basically go to a tap and just fill it with tap water. So it means I'm not having to take around liquids, I can just use the tap that's already there, and nobody can tell that, even though it's tap water, it's not Sprite. So I thought that was a clever idea. It solves me a lot of work at the actual gig. But it uses a real can. This is a real can, which means it dents and squashes, and you can quite easily. I'm being gentle because I'm planning on selling this thing on eBay next week, so I don't want to wreck it. But it basically, you can already start to see the marks, the dents that are left over in it. It's got a short lifespan basically. The trick is going to be great when you buy it straight off, but if you can get around the water problem, get around the catching and the filling problem, you've got the problem of the can. I give it 3 months, 4 months of continuous use. If you were using it properly, this can would look an absolute mess within 4 months. You can try and be as gentle with it as you can, but everybody who performs knows that most damage to props happens in transit, where you don't have it doesn't matter how much padding you put around it, it will get wrecked. You cannot take the gimmick out. The gimmick is built into the can itself. You'd have to have, I suppose if you were an engineer and you had the right tools to drill through metal, you could play around with it, but that's the problem. So for an airborne type effect, this is the bee's knees. This is the best one in the world at the moment that I know of. But it's not going to last you forever. You're going to have to replace it depending on how often you use it. At least if you use it on a regular basis, once every 30 shows. I reckon it'll go through 30 shows. If you're going to buy it, buy the Sprite version, because the liquid, it will solve you so much effort in the future. And especially if you try to do the Coke version, which I originally had, in order to get the liquid from your Coke bottle into the gimmick can, because you can't transport it around, it'll just leak because it's all exposed, you have to be very careful. You have to do it over a sink, and you'd lose half the liquid just trying to get it into the gimmick. So the tap water method just means put it under the water, you don't care if it all spills everywhere. Okay. It does come with a DVD, which is in here somewhere. There it is. Which is a homemade DVD, does the job. And it does say that you should clean out the can. I think that's even, yeah, it says you should wash the can out thoroughly because you don't know what kind of things have been picked up. In theory, you could drink from the can. There's no liquids, no chemicals, so you could drink this liquid if you wished. However, I'm not going to because there are things inside of it which doesn't. I don't know how clean they are. I just don't want metal poisoning. So there you go. Rating wise. 82%, 82. It's the best version of this trick out there, but it's not 100%, and I'm not confident enough to perform it in my show on a regular basis. But if you have a place for this trick in your show and you know it will help promote healthy eating and all that kind of stuff, then yes, this is the version to go for. Just know that you're going to have to replace it after about 30 shows. Okay, there we go.